Thank you, Speaker. I seek leave to make a statement not exceeding 5 minutes.
Call to the member for Lindsay.
Leave is granted.
Call to the member for Parramatta.
Speaker, I rise to express my heartfelt appreciation for the Refugee Women Walk for a Fair Go. On Tuesday, around 15 female asylum seekers completed a march from Sydney to Canberra. Driven by their passion and personal experiences, these courageous women, many of them from Tamil backgrounds, walked 340 kilometres over 15 days to advocate for the thousands of refugees who have been stuck in migration limbo. Speaker, many of these 15 women arrived in Australia over a decade ago, fleeing abject poverty and persecution. They came to Australia to search for the same opportunities we enjoy today: safety and peace. But in the past decade, these women and their families have been barred from much of what makes life in Australia so great, from much of what many Australians take for granted: the opportunity to work in any area they choose, the opportunity to send their children to university under HECS places, to access TAFE, to get full access to Medicare and superannuation. As well as being refugees, these women are mothers, friends, sisters and colleagues. They're active members of our community, and every day they make a positive contribution to our society. And I'm confident that they will continue to contribute to our local communities. Speaker, my message to them is simple. You are valued, your contribution to Australia is appreciated. I had the honour of delivering this message in person earlier this week when I met with these inspiring women at Parliament House. And I note that this amazing feat of activism and advocacy was made possible through the efforts of many local Tamil organisations and supporters. Speaker, the second issue I want to address is the situation in Gaza. The world is watching a complete tragedy for the innocent Israelis and innocent Palestinians who are victims in this situation. And many Australians are understandably shocked by the horrific violence and loss of life. The feedback I have from my community every day concerns the need to protect and value all human life. My community calls for recognition of Palestinian suffering and loss to the same degree as Israeli suffering and loss. All human life is sacred and all innocent civilians should be protected. I've had hundreds of messages from my community, from people who have friends and family and loved ones who've been killed or subjected to terrible suffering. Of course, I want to see a cessation of hostilities. Everybody wants to see the killing stop. And the cry for a ceasefire is an entirely and deeply human response to the humanitarian disaster the world is witnessing. Everybody wants to see innocent people live in peace. A ceasefire, of course, requires both parties to agree, and by its nature, a ceasefire cannot be one-sided. Yet Hamas still holds over 200 hostages as human shields and has a stated intent to kill Israelis and destroy the State of Israel. Australia has led international calls for humanitarian assistance and for the fighting to stop so that food and medicine and other assistance can be brought into Gaza. But clearly much more is needed. And here at home, we have an urgent responsibility to ensure that the most precious elements of being Australian are maintained. Harmonious multiculturalism is something we have built in this country and we should fight to protect. As leaders, we have a responsibility to calm tensions here at home, not to inflame them. We must ensure that all Australian Jews feel safe and secure, and all Australian Muslims feel safe and secure. Australian Muslims and Jews are good people who deserve to live in this country in peace and security.